Yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Are we good? Can you hear me? Hello? I tried to redo the setup a little bit so it'd be a bit more comfortable and make a bit more sense, I suppose. It has to be redone in a few months anyways, because we're getting in the good camera. It's good, all right. I'm thinking of bolting the camera to the ceiling, because we're going to be getting a pretty high-quality camera for, like, this thing, because it was funded by the other stream. And I was looking into it, and I'm like, there's no room on this table whatsoever. I've got, like, 2 lights, microphone stand, I've got everything. Camera stand. So I think I'll just be bolting it to the ceiling, and then having an arm come over, and then lower it down onto the table, if that makes any sense. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I own DRG. I have DRG. Let me see. Well, we're going to be building the exact same thing I've been building for ages at this point, just because I haven't done anything. It's a gyrocopter. That's the goal, at least. Finish the gyrocopter, because it's been so long since I've done anything on this channel. Completed stuff. I have it in a display case behind me. I can't really get it right now. In a little bit, I'll maybe pull it out. Unfortunately, this setup isn't the most convenient. This setup is very inconvenient. It's like bolted to a wall that it shouldn't be bolted to. the 15th of next month. It should be out. 15th of next month, it should be completely released. This isn't League. True. It would be if they had dwarves. But they don't. I should probably be wearing a Band-Aid. No, I'm a little busy. Typically on the main channel, I want to stream all day. And I'm so busy that, like, I'd get on maybe... Like, right now, this is the only time I'm not busy. We just had dinner. So I'm not streaming because I don't have all day. Like, I don't want to get on and stream for, like, 3 hours and then go to bed, you know? I'd rather stream 10 hours a day. Because we're in Toronto right now. We're going to be coming back here very, very soon for good, so... The goal is to get this place ready... And eventually, when we can come back for good, then I'll be able to stream on both channels, like 10 hours, 3 hours, or 10 hours, 2 hours, whatever it's going to be. Yeah. It's like soon enough, I'll be doing both streams every day. So like the 10-hour stream on the main channel into this stream, like, what are we at? 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 2, 7... I could stream every day from 7 to 9. Or, sorry, 9 to 7. 10 hours on the main channel. Take 2 hours off. Come back at 9 o'clock and go for like 3 to 4 hours on this channel, potentially. I gotta work out a schedule. It's something like that. That's the goal. Sounds like a bad time, bro. I don't know about that. Sounds like police involvement. Yo. Create appreciation channel. Bro, I'll play whatever. I don't really care. I do on both channels. I don't think Creed would put me in the mood to want to do much here, but... They're a band. Yo, yo. You can do anything you want top lane, bro. Top lane is like the one lane that doesn't matter the most. So you can do virtually anything you want in it and still win a game if your team's decent. Right? That's the goal. Everything is viable if your team is good. Like, you'll win every game. If your team is decent, you could pick fucking Yuumi jungle. Okay, that's actually really good. Cool. Burn it down. Burn it down. Yeah, I've played a shit ton of Total War. Well, the Warhammer ones. I've played so many games of Total War 2 and 3 and 1. We're talking multiplayer, though, not campaign. Campaign is kind of boring. Campaign be like, who can cheese AI better? And it's supposedly fun. Connected with the canon universe? I would assume so, but not, like, perfectly. It's more of, like, a very good representation of it, you know? That's if all 8 people can even load, though. That's like, how do you expect... if you've all got NASA supercomputers and 8 people can all play at once with, like, 0 load time, I'll agree. Unless they've updated the game to where that's kind of a thing. But, like, the last time I tried that was a few years ago with one other person, 2 other people, and it was, like, so trash. Super trash. Well, I mean, it's both. It's more of like you can collect them or you can have it like D&D, except it's more army-based. So instead of like 5 guys, you've got 500. Easiest figures to build for beginners. I mean, at this point, they literally have figures that kind of click together with, like, pins. Instead of a kit that's like this, where it's like a bunch of parts. I mean, to be honest, all of them are kind of for beginners, because it's like an adult Lego set. But they've got people or rather parts that are just like 2 clicks together and the whole thing is done. You know, that's typically what they're releasing because they want to get more people into the hobby. But this is like semi-advanced Lego. You have an instruction manual. You just cut the pieces, clean them out, or clean them up rather, and then glue them together. It's not that hard. Pizza Yo, buddy. Everybody got to ask BC, it loads like 10 to 15 minutes for one battle. Yeah, it's terrible. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and then you have to wait for the turns, and then you have to load into games. It's so trash. That's why I kind of avoid playing campaign, but also the AI is just trash. It's garbage. The fun of Total War is the multiplayer, in my opinion. It's like you're playing a Warhammer game, except like real time. Yo. I think this set, like, the gyrocopter, I think was like 60 Canadian or something. This little thing. It's probably about life size as to what it should be. $60. And that's just like one of the things you need, though, because you need the kit, you need the blades, you need the cutters, you need the fucking glue. You gotta buy the paint, you gotta buy everything. This company loves money. I can't blame them. I use GW. It's the most convenient. I've got racks of just GW paint. I try not to get into other brands because then you kind of like branch out and you see something you like, so you want to get into that shit. I think the only thing that I'll ever use is maybe like a different brand's metallics. But like 99% of my paints are all GW. I think there was like I forgot what brand that puts out. I think it was Vallejo. They do like really good metallic paints or something. I don't know. Same thing with like a white or a black. Very specific colors. Vampire Coast, best faction. People use Sharpies on these. They use like the fine tip Sharpies. That's again, dude, I don't fuck with campaign. Campaign is so fucked up in Total War. Vallejo Chrome. Yeah, I think it's Vallejo that puts out the really good metallic paints, honestly. I gotta try them. Because, I mean, dwarves are typically just beards, skin, and metal. And leather. Bros think they're like Rob Halford. We're good. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, we're just chilling. I'm very slow with this hobby just because I don't have that much time. And you may think, like, oh, just speed it up then, but, like, no, I'm rarely on this channel, so I kind of take my time with what I'm doing here. Once I can settle everything and I can stream on this channel consistently, I hope to actually do more with, like, what the fuck I'm streaming, but I think for now this is, like, good enough, you know? Yep. I mean, I only recently, maybe in the last year, purchased a display case for all my shit. So, like, if I finish anything now, I've actually got space for it for the first time in years. Because this room doesn't really have much. Most of it's, like, the regular stream setup, and then I've got shit behind me for, like, display purposes, but you can't really do this hobby without display space. You know, unless you're putting all your figures in, like, a case, and then the case is going somewhere. Which is kind of boring. It's like, why do Warhammer at that point if you're not going to even display the shit you've done? Games, yeah, buddy. I use Tamiya. For plastic, I use Tamiya, or I use, like, the GW. You know, there was an interesting, I think if you want to know better answers, there's a podcast between, like, I think it's Lore Master of Sotek and another guy who's pretty big into fantasy. And they talked about the dwarves and the ancestor gods. And they did cover, like, kind of Grimnir going up and fucking off in the Chaos Wastes to go close the gate. If you can find it, watch it, because I could never answer that question as well as them. Like, these guys live and breathe books. All I know at this point is I'd like to see one of them back. Like, Grungni is the only one kind of kicking around. Valea's fucked off in Shaiish, and Grimnir's exploded, at least from what I remember. Cars and Creed, I got you. Yeah, see, I don't... Those for me? Nah, bro, that's a pass on me. Bro, this Band-Aid is so ass. Yeah, I think it's laying down the lore. I think it's that. They also do, like, Twitch streams. It's really good. Like, if you like listening to, like, legitimate Warhammer fantasy lore and with two people who kind of really know what they're talking about, it's that. Yeah. That's really, really good. I mean, you got to go to the people who kind of, like, live and breathe this shit, you know? The guys who are willing to sit there and read books for hours and hours and hours and then have that memory retained, like, that's a gift. To read so many things and remember everything. That is a gift. No, I like reading. I mean, I prefer audiobooks if I can get them, but the thing about reading is that you typically have to read a shit ton of books to know anything about Warhammer. and people prefer to hear about Warhammer rather than read, you know, on their own. It's not that people don't want to read, it's just, it's more of a, it's a harder thing to get into. It's not that you can't read, but, like, you got to sit down and kind of devote time to it. Typically, YouTube videos are kind of better for that stuff anyways. This is done too. Audiobooks are better. In my opinion, I'd rather listen to an audiobook and work on Warhammer because you can kind of get the best of both worlds. A few years ago, when I wasn't really streaming on this channel too often, and I wanted to do Warhammer, what I would do is just put on an audiobook and then make stuff, right? So you can kind of get more out of what you're doing. And they're good. Like, Warhammer audiobooks are really good. Really, really good. All voice acted. They have a bunch of cool things that go on, and it's pretty immersive. It's good. Because it's not like a person is just reading you a book. It's more of like they get in the character sometimes. It's good. It's really good. Crusader Kings 3? No. Never once in my life have I even heard of that game. Am I a normie? Well, I mean, it's done on Amazon, or through Amazon. I think with Henry Cavill kind of doing everything, it will be good. Because that guy kind of cares about the source material and definitely wants to keep it about the source material. You know, he's not going to, like, inject his own fanfic from Twitter into it. I think it'll be fine. Devastation of Baal. Isn't that the one with, like, the Space Marines and the Tyranids? The audiobooks are good. The thing about Games Workshop that I've realized lately, having looked into more of their shit, is these guys keep releasing a lot of content. Like, they really push out shit. Every week there's, like, new releases or things upcoming, books, audiobooks, miniatures, starter sets, like, different things. I mean, shit. They're always doing something. They're always doing something. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I'm pretty sure he even wanted out anyways because they kept trying to, like, inject their own thing. It's if you base something off of something, obviously you don't have to stick to the script, but if you care about it enough, you will. If you want to honor the person who created it and you love it for that reason, but you want to make it into a different adaptation like a film or TV series, whatever it may be, it takes a true fan to want to keep it with that vision, you know? Of course, like, look at Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings. Like, he kind of did his own thing here and there, but it worked out perfectly, so no one complained. But things, when they're drastically different, people aren't going to like that shit. People don't want that crap. It's garbage. Washer simulator in Call of Duty. I did see that, yeah. Like power washer with like tech priests, and you go around fucking like cleaning Land Raiders and Titans and shit. It's pretty funny. Well, especially at that scale, it's like how would you even do the Horus Heresy as a series? How much money would you need to have? Like you talk about, you know, you had that whole Rings of Power thing, and okay, sure, it was dog shit, but like everything that went into the costuming and the weapons and all that stuff, I'm sure it's much easier than doing futuristic stuff. At least that's my opinion. The question is, how do you make it look like money? How do you make it look like 40K where it's not cheap? Like, how much money are you even given to be able to do that? Because the visuals of 40K are so important. Like, it's got to be looking like money, or it's not going to get anywhere. Yo, yo, yo. I mean, I feel like if you want to make the show good, you make it about the Guard, and then you make the Space Marines kind of show up, and it's like this big special event, you know, like typically in lore when the Space Marines show up, it's like, oh my god, they're here. Because I feel like you might lose a bit of the charm of Space Marines when you kind of just have them on screen 24/7. Like, it'd be cool, but they're supposed to be these beings that you typically don't see, and when they do show up, shit definitely hit the fan, right? It would be more grounded to make it kind of into like a war series with like Guard and, you know, the struggles of normal people, whereas if you made it about Space Marines, it'd be just like a bunch of Supermen put together in a room. Hey, we could do anything we want, you know? It'd be cool, but I'd prefer to see Guard. But also because I prefer Guard to Space Marines anyways, but, you know. Exactly. It's like, why are you making a character? Yeah, right. Like, well, that's the problem. Like, look at if you care about Star Wars, it's like the Book of Boba Fett. It's like, why the fuck do we care about being related to a gun for hire who murders people to make a living? Like, we don't need humanized Boba Fett. You can have him be humanized in a way, but like, you don't need to make a whole show about him becoming a human. You know, like, he's so relatable now. Look at him. Yeah, like last week, I shot everyone dead. I took their money. Well, not even take their money. I shot them dead because I was being paid to do it. Oh, yeah, brought in the bounty, whatever. That's great. And then now you realize, like, you know what? I got to save people. I got to take this town for my own and make it fucking my all. These people need a leader. It's like, what? Not everything needs to be relatable. Like... You don't need to humanize every single thing. Sometimes when it's not relatable, it's cooler because it's not achievable through a normal person. Yeah, it should be about the Guard. I don't think you ever make a show about Space Marines. Like... I don't know if you've seen the Warhammer Plus stuff. I think they had one with, like, the Blood Angels. And it was basically just all about them and I think, like, Tyranids and Genestealer cults. And it was cool, but, like, I wouldn't want more of that. I want more boots on the ground, realistic, in the trenches, scared out of your fucking mind. Like, you're a normal person in a fucked up world. And again, it's not that it's relatable. It's just more... Well, is grounded relatable? I mean, to me, it's just there's more to it. Rohan showed up for Gondor. Yeah, something like that. You could, yeah. Where it's like this big grand event. They come over and save everyone, and oh my god, the Space Marines are here. Fishy out. I mean, we'll see, though, when the show comes out. I'll be watching it, although I'm not, like, the biggest 40K fan like I used to be, but it'll be good. "40 years. Yeah, exactly. It should always be, like, you just don't ruin everything and show a Space Marine right off the bat, right? Like, things have to get really, really serious and really bad for the Space Marines to show up. And again, even then, like... there's so many cool ways you could do it. Like, more of a personal in-your-face camera. You know, he's looking out over a trench or something, and then a drop pod comes in. Space Marines come down, and then it kind of pans back into the trench, and you just hear shit going down. You know, you can kind of keep them in... I mean, they're not going to be in the shadows, but, like, you know what I mean? Out of frame, but you can still hear them, and... I don't know, it'd be cool. They could do a bunch of stuff. Cavill knows Warhammer. He loves that whole franchise. Like, he's not going to throw it to the dogs. He'll do it well. And again, if you were to make it all about Space Marines, how shitty would that look? It's like, how much money would you need to invest in a physical Space Marine suit, or, well, preferably physical, to have it actually work on screen 24/7? Like, I don't know, make it like some sort of war film. Dirty, grimy, in the trenches, depressing, you know, but there is that glimmer of hope. The Space Marines are here, or like, oh my god, we got the upper hand, fucking fix bayonets, everyone charging. Oh, we're all dead. R-rated, bloody, violent, dirty, disgusting, gritty. Like, that's what you want out of 40K. You want it to be violent, depressing, and very grim. Especially from a human's perspective, which is probably the worst perspective. Because you've got nothing going for you, bro. I mean, for God's sake, you eat your own fucking people for rations. Like, it don't get any better. It's a pretty bad time to be alive. Shit. Salamander's miniseries? Was there a miniseries? Was that on, like, Warhammer Plus? Animated one? Yeah, I've seen the Space Marine trailer. I went back and watched another bit of it today. It was good. You know, the coolest thing out of the whole Space Marine trailer, gameplay anything, is they ended up getting the original voice actor from Dawn of War who portrayed the guardsman. I forgot his name. He wears a cowboy hat. He's a white guy. He plays Scion in League of Legends. He plays Hecarim. I think his name is Scott McNeil. They brought him back to voice the guardsman in Space Marine 2. That's so fucking awesome. Either he's voicing like the generic guardsman, or he's voicing like a sergeant or something. Like, they got him back to do it, which is so awesome. Because the voice acting in that game is so iconic. Like, Dawn of War 1 stands pretty high up there in terms of like 40K games. Dawn of War 2 was alright. Dawn of War 3 wasn't even a game. But that's pretty cool. Titus voice actor. Oh, they didn't bring him back. It was a different guy. Costumes and designs of fantasy, the Witch Hunter. I mean, it would be cool. You could maybe do something like that, but I would leave it to like Warhammer Plus for the animations first. Because with the return of the old world, there's no way they're not making content, like animated shorts or anything like that. Because the thing about anything Warhammer Fantasy for the longest time was that it was very much passion with no pay. 40K, at least you could get paid for it, because 40K is very popular. But if you were passionate about Warhammer Fantasy during the time of Age of Sigmar, and you wanted more fantasy, you couldn't really do anything with it, right? Like, the audience not really had moved on, but it was kind of at a very, like, stale state where the game wasn't supported, only small groups were playing it, the universe was dead, like, not everyone wanted to continue with it, you know? So, who knows? Like, there's more money to be had in 40K content, right? If anyone's going to make an animated short or anything, like, you're probably going to make more. Profil, thank you, bro. Don't subscribe. That's it. No more. I'm not even going to be streaming on this channel for like 3 to 4 months. But when I come back, I'll be streaming full time on both channels. Yeah. If there's a way to unsubscribe, I'd do it. I won't be here. I have to leave in a few days for like a few months. Bro, listen, dwarves are cool, but I don't think we're going to be role-playing as dwarves here too often. Have you seen the Russian LARPing of, like, Warhammer Fantasy? Like, those guys are fucking crazy. I don't know if you've seen images of, like, some of these costumes they put together for the dwarves, but these people have, like, full-blown, legitimate dwarf slayer outfits, and their mohawks are, like, the size of their body. It's nuts. Yeah, they love Warhammer Fantasy so much. It's cool. It is cool. It's very, very cool. I mean, fuck, I'd like to own a replica of, like, Thorgrim's helmet or something, but that has to be, like, custom done. I know they did a replica of, like, the Great Book of Grudges for the first game's release. The special edition of Total War 1, I have it, actually. It was a replica Damas Kron. You had, like, a drinking horn. You had a Slayer pendant. You had, like, a ring. And I think that was it. It was pretty cool, but outside of that, I mean, again, no one's making Dwarf or Warhammer Fantasy-related things that are, like, flying off the shelves. 40K stuff? Sure. You know, go buy a lasgun, go buy a bolt pistol, go buy a fucking Space Marine helmet. But Fantasy was always kind of a niche, weird thing for the longest time until they decided to revive it, thankfully. No one cosplays as Chaos Dwarves. It's because no one likes the Chaos Dwarves. No, I haven't really been watching any TV at all. I've been so busy. When I'm not sitting here for like 2 hours at a time, I'm very busy. Like, I'll probably be here for maybe 1 more hour, and then I gotta go clean out a storage room. I just want to sit down for a day and do something, dude. Not have to worry about doing something. I used to watch those on TV, but I never kept up with them. Vermintide 2 is my taste of Warhammer Fantasy. Now I've got 700 hours in the game. Those are good games, yeah, for Warhammer Fantasy. It's like kind of a blip in the universe of fantasy. It's like the tail end of the universe kind of collapsing, but it's cool. Just know that every one of them is dead, and they're not coming back. The world did end and everyone died. Unfortunately. All my pieces are back in my home country. You gotta go get them, man. I mean, Warhammer's chill. I've been doing this hobby for like 20 plus years, I think, at this point, so... As a kid, I think things were a bit easier. You know, you could just sit down and fucking slap thick paint on miniatures and be happy with it. But now as an adult, you overthink everything. We are making a gyrocopter. Very slowly making a gyrocopter. Completed minis? I can get a handful of completed minis. That's all I got left. Unfortunately, so I've been in the hobby for like 20 years. At least 20 years. I'm only 27. So 7 years old, you might think, wow, you're a rich little dipshit, aren't you? No. I've had so many armies growing up, all of which I would purchase through like child support from my father or my allowances or like birthdays and stuff like that. Most of my life was kind of putting my money to Warhammer. And there was a phase during like high school where, you know, growing up, if you don't work, you kind of find other things that you want in life. And so what I would do is kind of sell everything off eventually. I still have a few things, like from my super old childhood. I have nothing. From, I think, like 2007 or something. Let me show you. I can actually, here, I'll grab a few things. What do I have? Okay, this, these two. And this was from, I forgot when this shit came out. 2007 or something? I don't know. You know, you always look back later in life and you wish you had the stuff you grew up with, but like $20 is $20 and I gotta sell Warhammer. So the only two things I've actually accomplished in recent years, having streamed on this channel not consistently, and not having worked on Warhammer consistently, is I painted a single dwarf, Lord of the Rings dwarf, in like the old classic scheme. That was one thing. I did a test model of like a dwarf warrior. And then the only things I have left from my childhood, is like a fucked up block of like goblin warriors. And I painted these when I was maybe like... When did Skull Pass come out? 2007? I painted these when that came out. So I don't know when that was, but I don't think they were that bad. For the age, I think they're pretty good. They're all kind of broken, but I wish I had more of what I grew up with, but I don't. Unfortunately. So this is kind of the only thing I can hold on to for now. Everything else is like storage sprues and weird merchandise. But yeah. Anyways. Well, because the design was so good, it's like, why even change it? The Night Goblins look amazing. Like, the Night Goblins in Age of Sigmar are like a 1-to-1 of fantasy. They're perfect. They never need to be changed. It's like the The Warriors of Chaos, they never needed to be changed. They look the exact same. Some things are just so good the first time around that, like, you don't really need to do anything to them. Hang on, I just gotta piece these out. Grom the Paunch. I'm not that fat, bro. I'm big, but I'm not that big. That boy is fucking massive. And my love for goblins, it's waned. My love for dwarves has always kind of stayed, but, like, green skins and goblins, nah, I kind of got out of them. I might get back into them with, like, the old world because they're bringing back all the good sculpts, but who knows? No, this is Scald. Kislev is not coming anytime soon. I doubt it. Big doubt. I think what you're going to get is a re-release of all the armies first, and then you're going to get new things. I wouldn't be waiting. Like, you're not going to get them for a while. This shit's going to be ages. Archaon Body Pillow. I would say that is weird. Why would you want that? But, like, if they had a Thorgrim one, I wouldn't think otherwise, you know what I mean? No, I didn't see that. No, I didn't. His channel's pretty good. I know who he is. I don't really consume too much Warhammer content like I used to, just because I've been away from this channel and all of its kind of, like, things for so long. No. I don't even eat donuts, especially go to Walmart donuts. No, no, bro, no. I really don't like going into Walmart because it's so scuffed. I typically get my clothes from Walmart, but, like, as of late, that place is so, like, Walmarts are so run down. Like, you walk in, and it feels like you're breathing in putrid air. It's not good. It's like everything is covered in disease. It's just so, it's run down. No, at least the one near me is run down, so. How you would write an orc story? I have no idea, honestly. I have no clue. Orcs are typically written as, like, fun, you know, goofy lads who just want to have an air quote good time. But that's from their perspective. But, like, dealing with orcs from everyone else's perspective is fucking horrifying. Artorius, yo, buddy. It's like, oh yeah, me and the boys just want to go down and club some guardsmen. Oh, it's going to be so fun. The guard are fucking, like, screaming, running around, praying to the Emperor. Their heads are being smashed in. They're ripped apart. It's like, oh, wasn't that so fun? It's like, what? No, I play. I just haven't played in a long time. I used to play a shit ton of Warhammer. I've done everything within the Warhammer hobby over the years. Games are really boring lately. Well, that's because you got to try and find something different. I feel like games are fun, but they're more of an experience. And although you can take an experience with you, I feel like physical hobbying is more rewarding because you can take that physical thing with you. You know, you could look at it on your shelf and be like, man, I fucking made that thing. Yeah, I will. Well, I mean, the idea of the orcs is they're supposed to be like, what are they, psychically all connected, and something they can do is that, like, as long as all of them think about it, it can happen. Some shit like that. If they all thought hard enough about something, it could be real. I don't know if that got retconned or not, but, like, it'll be on stream, yeah? Probably not this stream. Well, because people like customizing, they like creating, they like making up their own miniatures instead of having other people do it for them. That's why. People want to be artistic and have, like, their own outlet of things. You know, their own color schemes, their own lore, their own designs. Because all these kits really are just blank canvases, right? Like, you can have the form of something, but you can do anything you want with it as long as you have the ability, as long as you've got the tools and the materials, the skill. You know, I look at this and I'm like, okay, that's great, but I would never paint it like this, you know? I'd maybe want to make each gyrocopter kind of unique in a way that, like, you know, each engineer that had built one kind of made it their own. A lot of, like, individualization, like, personalized stuff. Something like that. That's at least how I look at it, but... What, 40 Warhammer? 40 Warhammers? 40 Hammerers? Why does everything need a fucking mold line? Why does everything need a mold line? Good lord. If nothing came with a mold line, man, how many miniatures you'd be able to build instantly? Fuck no. Can you sculpt my balls like that? What, with a fucking razor? Sounds pretty dangerous, bro. That is true. Then we're gonna want to. It takes a while to get shit done. Yeah, I mean you don't have to do this, but like if you really want to, you can. I think it's the idea of if you want your shit to look a little bit better than it could possibly look like, then yeah, you need to take the time to do this. But like, not everyone cares. Like this is definitely a process. Very slow, very tedious if you want to get everything done. With 3D printing, it's the exact same thing, though. 3D printing has a lot of imperfections. I mean, nothing's perfect, but, like, prepping something after you 3D printed it, if you care about that, it takes a little bit of time. Like, you could basically take things from, like, the print bed and glue them together and be done, but it won't look as good. And fuck, for God's sake, if you spend that much time and that much money doing something, it's like you might as well make it look decent. Subjectively, of course. Yeah, resin printing is better. It's the way to go for sure, but like until you've I haven't seen how good printers have been in like the last year or two, because when I was doing it was about 2 years ago maybe. And as long as you can get it to where the print lines are like absolutely invisible, at that point you don't need that much prep. But even for like decent resin printers, I'm sure there's still lines, right? It's very expensive, very time consuming. It's a fucking hobby in itself. It's like, it's a lot of work. Yeah. I'd like to do more, but right now I'm building a gyrocopter. That's all I'm doing. I build this thing, I glue it together, I build something else. I kind of want to go through all the plastics and build all the plastics. The problem is when you do hobbying with Warhammer, 90% of the hobbying is mold lines. Well, you glue it as much as you can to the point where everything you paint is fine, but like if you build something entirely and then try to paint it, you won't be able to get everything. Well, 3D printing is really good. 3D printing is like, I mean, you know, Games Workshop kits are basically 3D printed, right? The masters are all 3D printed, and then they cast them up in plastic. Everything at this stage in life is 3D printed, so it's all amazing. You could do so much with 3D printing. Well, my arms are on, like, I put my elbows into the table and then the armrest of the chair. You need that elbow support. Man, I need new music, bro. Just do Guar. Finnish hard rock. I listen to whatever. European music is typically better, right? Finnish, Icelandic, Norwegian, whatever. German. What, this version of the song? The acoustic version? Eternal Tear of Sorrow? I haven't heard of them, no. I'm going to guess they're a European band. Yeah, I prefer this version of the song, too. I think I prefer all the versions on this album, like the acoustic ones. It's just different. Tank, peace, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed here soon as well. Or not go to bed, but I'm going to get off in about half an hour. Eternal Tears of Sorrow, Heart of the Wilderness. I can't find him. I found him. Links? No, I put him on. I put him on. I found him. Typically no links because you can't trust everybody. No, isn't that bad? I feel like I've heard similar, like, it's not bad at all. I feel like I've heard them before. Maybe not that band in particular, but like the sound of it, you know? Maybe it's just all the vocalists. What? Hang on. Okay, one sec, BRB. All right, I'm back. More plastic scraping. Wow, it's so fun. It's so fun. I need a drink. Bam bam bada bam 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 bam. Okay. Bam bam bam. Yes, sir. Bum 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 bum. Da, da, da. Song of... Nah, I'm not really into Game of Thrones. Nah, I need fantasy. I need dwarves. It's not really about the game. It's more of the game's content. You know what I mean? Like, I love fantasy, but I don't play fantasy for the game itself. You know what I mean? I've seen the game. But it's a matter of what am I looking at? I have a lot of gloves. The new Orc Big Mac model came out. I did see it. I don't like it. I actually, hot take, I typically like the look of orcs, but I don't like it. I think it looks like ballsack cheese. It's not that it's sculpted bad, because it's clearly not. It looks phenomenal in terms of sculpt. I just don't like it. Subjectively don't like the look of it. Let me get an image of it. It's just like the head. There's something missing. There's definitely something missing from the head. And it's not the brain. Like, it looks amazing, but he needs to be wearing the goggles or have like a giant fucking heat shield. Like, just something, I don't know, something with the face. Something looks off. He's wearing like an exosuit type of deal, which I guess is cool. But this right face, this one is kind of crap. Subjectively, it's not sculpted bad, it's just not my thing. He needs to look more mechanic-y, you know, typical, like, I'm working on shit 24/7 type of deal. I don't really get that from this one. This one looks way better, this face sculpt, in my opinion, but, like, put the goggles on him, you know? Give him some sort of, like, Dawn of War, Big Mac fucking piece of headgear. But that's, like, subjectively how I feel. I mean, they even showed, like... they ended up showing gnomes. If you like gnomes, which I thought was funny. It's like, holy shit, we have dwarves at home. Like, I mean, it's like, you know, it's a bit goofy. It's the Blood Bowl gnomes. This is the Blood Bowl gnomes. You don't know the gnomes? They got, like, the goose. They got the little baby duckling. They got the fucking, what is that thing called? Bottom right, they have a fox. What is this thing called? It's a real animal. I just forgot the name of it. A badger. That's what it is. It's a badger. These are good. These have so much character. They're so goofy, but, like, I think they're cool. Look at their shoes, bro. Look at their fucking shoes. Imagine losing to this Blood Bowl team. It's like you got beat by a bunch of clowns and some animals. Bro. I think it's cool. It's weird, but it's cool. They didn't show anything today that I cared about. They showed like what the Custodes character. They showed the gnomes. They showed the Big Mac. Oh, it's a Warhammer World Anniversary Big Mac. Oh, it's like a normal release. Okay. Yeah. I don't really fuck with 40K. 40K is cool. I grew up with 40K. I grew up with fantasy. Grew up with Lord of the Rings, all that stuff. But, like, I'm more into fantasy these days, for sure. I've got a whole Votan unfinished army, but, like, might stay unfinished for my lifetime. I don't know. We'll see. Why add gnomes when you have halflings with pans and shit? If they're part of the lore, I mean, Blood Bowl's supposed to be goofy anyways, right? I'm all for the weird shit in Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is just fun. You need more fun stuff like that, for sure. 100%. Yeah. It's been pretty fucking cold lately. We've had a little bit of snow here, but, like, I don't really go outside, so I'm kind of saved from that for a bit, you know? Second end times would hit before the army is finished. I mean, batch paint, right? If you're just more into playing the game, then just by all means, fucking batch paint everything, right? I think the number one thing I realized in life when I did Warhammer for so long, or when I've done, you know, this hobby for whatever, how many years, is I prefer the artistic side of Warhammer as opposed to, like, the gaming side. Because I can get the gaming fix out of playing, like, Tabletop Sim or playing Total War Warhammer. And it's not the same at all, in, you know, compared to what it would be in person. But, like, when I was younger, I would typically rush through armies to just play them on the tabletop, and I would always look at my shit and be like, man, this is ugly, I hate it, I'm not satisfied. So now I'm just kind of like going at it very leisurely, you know, just for fun, building, painting, being very slow but very thorough, just so I know I'm happy with the end result. You don't always have to, like, rush through everything. Last time I saw snow was 2019. I think it snowed here, like, yesterday, and even today. I'm from Poland. Blood Bowl's pretty big here. My friend in Norska team. That's pretty cool, yeah. I like Blood Bowl. I've played it. I played Dwarves. Again, I can get my fix of Blood Bowl playing the video game, which is the same thing as the tabletop game, but not the same feeling. Nightlight, yo, buddy. Gray matters. Thank you, man. Well, exactly. I mean, people get into this shit for various reasons. I remember playing with a few people who exclusively only played the game. They didn't care about the hobby aspect. So, like, their armies would be thrown together over a weekend and, like, primed and then never painted. I mean, everyone's in it for something. I think I like the artistic side, though, where, like, you can kind of bring a universe to life through, you know, miniatures and whatnot. Different dioramas and customized things and painted things and whatnot. A lot more alcohol when you play Blood Bowl IRL. Well, yeah, it's strictly for fun. Everyone just wants to have fun when they play Blood Bowl. I mean, yeah. People, I mean, painting and all this stuff, it does take a lot of work. Like, it's not easy. Not everyone wants to spend so much time doing it, you know? Fire Slayers are really fucking ugly. I think the problem was they had no personality when they came out. Like, their sculpts were so garbage. I don't think it was their bodies, but it was more of like the head sculpts were all bad. Like, for a bunch of angry, loud, semi-naked berserker dwarves, they all had, like, not a single mouth that was open in, like, a screaming pose. Like, the line just looks the exact same. None of them look different. They're all kind of the same. There's no character behind them. Like, the number one redeeming thing to the Fire Slayers was the latest team with, like, the female Fire Slayers and all those other guys. Like, those sculpts are amazing. They completely change the Fire Slayer look. They make them actually cool. But, like, the initial Fire Slayer launch with, like, the Volkites and all that crap, very soulless. It's just not fun. It's not a fun line to look at. It's like I could never do better than what was sculpted, but it's not my favorite. Like, the best Slayer sculpts, the metal sculpts, the old ones. Sark, peace, buddy. Take it easy, man. Peace, peace. Okay, I'm going to be getting out of here soon. I should have left like a minute ago because it's been 2 hours. I'm kind of busy. But I'll try and finish this piece up and then I'll head out. Chances are I probably won't be back to stream on this channel. We leave in a few days. Maybe I'll come back once more. Again, in a few months, I'll be here every day, ideally. We'll see how that goes. More chilling. We have a more permanent situation. No, I used to play. Right now, I don't really have anything that I've done lately, so these are more for display. But eventually, I do want to make an army. I've worked on an army off and on for AOS before the Old World was announced, but again, I don't really have that much time to do it, so it kind of was shelved for a bit, and now I'm not really into it right now because the Old World came back. We'll see. Yeah, I like 40k. I do everything. All the GW stuff I do. I mean, from day one 40k, where I had armies, was like Orcs, Guard, Mechanicus as squats, now Leagues of Votann. Way back when as a kid, it was like Taus, Space Marines, Chaos, Necrons, Orcs, Guard, a little bit of everything, but like kind of as you grow up, you figure out what you like and what you don't like. Well, these are all for like display, so I typically try and do the best I can. Although the problem is sometimes pieces are fucked up. See if I have a replacement piece for this. A lot of these pieces come... You know what kind of pisses me off? Games Workshop charges you so much money for a kit, but the least they could do is try and protect it when it comes to you. Because typically, not many people complain about it or even care about it, but like for me who I have like a brain problem where every piece has to be perfect. Don't you think it would make sense to put some sort of like bubble wrap between like each sprue before you shove it into a box? Because when you put a sprue in the box, and then you put another sprue in the box, and both sprues are pushing against each other, you've got pieces that come damaged. And be it, oh, it's a little bit of damage, who cares? But, like, it's a $60 kit. It's like, you know, do something with it. 1,000 Suns. Yeah, they're cool. They're like, what, blue gold, usually? Admech or Necrons. Yeah, those are all right. The Necrons seem to be getting more attention than, like, Admech. 5 cents a piece. Well, for them to make, not for us to buy. NMM? Not really. Nah, it looks nice, but I don't really paint as much as I used to. It does look really nice, though. A chill dwarf in real life? A 6-foot-tall dwarf? In my dreams, maybe. Oh, they replace stuff for sure, yeah. How's the CEO and VPs going to afford their 5th yacht? True. I mean, it's just kind of weird, man. It's like if you're buying something expensive, it should kind of come safe, you know? But they will replace it. It's just a hassle of, like, getting in contact and be like, this piece is fucked up. Please send me another. And they will. But, you know. Canadian mountains. I live in a secluded basement apartment thing. It's away from people. Is that dwarf enough? Do I really? I guess I look gross. I look hairy. I look wretched. I look like I shower once a year. On a good year. Save the planet, bro. Save the water. Okay. March? The 8th of March? Is that what you mean? What happens on the 8th of March? What happens on the 8th of March? Isn't that the new Midnight album? Yo, yo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. A while. I mean, ew, hair. Depends on how big the kid is. Sometimes very quick, sometimes very not. Painting can take a long fucking time, though. Everything takes a long time with this hobby if you kind of want to make it take a long time. If you kind of go over everything and do the best you can, it will take a while, but if you just want to, like, breeze through it, it could take you, like, an afternoon. Like, my younger self, if I did this kit, it would take me half a day. Not even half a day, a fucking afternoon at my buddy's house. But now that I'm older and I'm more focused on what I want to do, it's a little bit longer, but I like the results more. Well, if I was... ideally, if I'm doing this, I should stream it. That makes the most sense. But if I'm not doing it on stream, I would typically just listen to an audiobook, so... I think both ways, it's just better on stream. Because, I mean, I would still be the exact same in terms of speed and focus. It's just, I could talk to people in chat or I could listen to an audiobook. And I like talking about Warhammer, so... I'm bald. It's a wig. It's so shiny it would fucking blind you, bro, like Medusa. Turned to stone. Yeah, Total War is good. A lot of people aren't happy with the game right now, though, because they're saying the DLC is too much money. Which it probably is, but, like, you don't have to buy it. I ain't buying that shit. West, peace, bro. Well, that's the thing. If you want it all, why the fuck do you want everything? It's like, you can be interested in a few things, and to me that's cool, but, like, if you like the entirety of Warhammer and you want all of it, it's like, bro, it's kind of a big deal. It's a lot of fucking money. That's not that easy to get. Yeah. I mean, I guess you'll do whatever at that point then. Pay the money, bro. Pay the money. Yeah. I mean, you should be able to pick and choose what you want. You don't have to buy everything. That's the problem with super fans. It's like they want everything, and everything is too much. Like, you need to kind of find your niche within something, in my opinion. Finding your niche within something is easier on the wallet, and it allows you to like it even more without losing your mind. It's like, yeah, I like Warhammer, but I absolutely fucking don't like elves. You know what I mean? It's like, in a million years, I'll never like elves. Just not my thing. Andor is so fucking good, yeah. Andor's amazing. Andor is peak Star Wars for adults. Like, Star Wars, sure, kids are great, you know. They all want the Star Wars toys and the movies and everything, and we were all there at one point. But all the people who grew up as kids on Star Wars don't want childish Star Wars anymore. The kids still do, that's fine. But, like, Andor was very good. Andor is, like, peak new Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is dog shit, but, like, Andor's not. Well, it's like anything. It's, why would you want to spend your money on 50 billion things? Some people are, like, super fans of Warhammer and they gotta buy everything. I see it a lot with Lego. I don't know if you know Lego fans, but, like, there's a lot of people who are into Lego, and into Lego is in, it's their life. They buy every fucking set. They love every ounce of Lego that's released. It's insane. It's like, how do you even keep up with that? For me, I only collect dwarves at this point. I'm getting out of orcs. You know, maybe I'll get back into orcs and goblins and shit like that eventually, but I haven't purchased anything from Games Workshop since the Leagues of Votann drop, and even then, that's it. Exactly. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars show because it's so good. You're typically associated with Star Wars and stupid decisions and poor acting and illogical everything, but like Andor is not that. Cities, I purchased the book and then I sold everything else. I mean, I haven't played Age of Sigmar in forever. Oh, yeah. I mean, elves are typically all about speed and agility and, you know, archery and all that crap and being nimble. No. John Rhys-Davies? No. Unless it's right now in the news, that'd be very depressing. Nope. Okay, I think I'm done. I was able to clean 4 to 5 pieces in 2.5 hours, and now I have to go be busy. I have to go clean. I will be on maybe once more in the next few days, but remember the goal of this all is to, in June, I will be back on this channel every day consistently with a better setup and everything. Same thing with the other channel. But right now, no, it's no cap, seriously, in June. Why do you think I'm taking so much time off on the main channel, even on this channel? I'm just so busy trying to get everything in order to be able to do this. We'll see. The dream for this channel, you know, it'd be so sick. You get on this stream, and I'm able to watch and put on a movie while I do this, and I don't get banned. That's the dream. It's never going to happen, but, like, bro, typically when you do Warhammer or any physical hobby, having something on in the background is so nice. Movies, like TV shows. Can't you nuke the VOD? I thought about putting it through Discord, and if you want to watch the movie with me, just go on Discord at the same time. Audiobooks, I could, but, like, again, you'd have to nuke the audio. Because I was on Twitch one night, and I was looking through Warhammer streams, and it was like this guy in Mexico, and it was like the most scuffed-looking stream, but he was watching Aliens, and I'm like, bro, if Twitch don't come after you, that seems like fun, you know? Put on a movie, do Warhammer, and, like, chill, talk about the movie, do whatever. That's the whole point of this anyways, is just to chill, so I don't know. Anyways, I'm done. Peace, peace, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for hanging out, and I will be on maybe in a day or two. I don't know. But hopefully soon, in the next few months, every day. Peace, guys. Peace, peace. Hire someone to build a filter to enclose the video screen to meet standards. Nah, it's just going to be on Discord, dude. I think I'll just stream it on Discord. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, peace, guys. Take care, folks. Peace, peace.